Hello, everyone. Welcome to another race in the round of 16 for our 2019 Linked to Past Randomizer tournament. This is the second race in the series. If you missed the first one, it was close. You should go back and watch it. But Ninban did take it, and Asazas decided that he's going to turn this into a standard seed. So we have all regular settings except for standard. So Uncle will be giving us a weapon as we have to go through escape. I'm one of your commentators in the booth today, Hammer Bro, and joining me is JP. How are you doing today, man?
Doing good. This is going to be a good race here today. We are getting into the later parts of this tournament, and it's been an interesting run here. I mean, we're seeing a lot of names that we have not I don't want to say we haven't seen before, but a lot of names that haven't been this far in the tournament before.
Yeah, it is really, really cool to see people be able to, get better at the game and then see people make it to higher rounds than they normally would.
I know Ninban's mentioned this is the farthest he's made it. I don't know about asazas. But yep, we will be starting here momentarily. As you mentioned, this is a standard start. So they'll be going through escape, not an assured sword start. So they'll get a weapon from Uncle, but we do not know what it will be until we get there. We do know we do know it will not be a sword since the Uncle doesn't have a sword.
Yep, Uncle asking the real questions though. Why do we only have one bed? Best not to think too hard on that one, I think.
I've always just reasoned it's actually bunk beds. We just don't see it because of the angle. And Link's got to leap off it at the beginning. It makes sense.
That's a fair point. We do have an early map check there. Green pendant sitting at Eastern, 5-6 crystal at Desert, and a regular crystal up on Heron.
Alright, let's see what Uncle has. Oh, he does have a sword. Okay, chat was right, I guess. They did patch that spoiler out, so essentially an assured sword seed.
Yep, basically. We got standard assured sword, functionally. Alright, so one of the big things here is that we don't want to have to do any backtracking, and out of fear of there potentially being a glove in the back of escape here, we want to make sure we get some bombs. Another thing they did change for V31 is they kind of standardized the bomb packs, so based upon what enemies drop, we'll know pretty early if we can get a bomb or not.
For the most part, the prize packs are now vanilla, but they do get randomized between enemy groups. And we do have a bomb pack. We also have a Moon Pearl.
Okay, well, we're being friendly so far.
You always wonder if you're ever going to see the seed where you leave escape and you already have Dark World access. It's unlikely, but you never know.
I mean, we have a third of it right now. We just need a glove and either a hammer or another glove, so it's doable.
Oh, there was bombs, but they didn't get them from the enemies.
Yep, so far everything's being fairly friendly. We're going to have the bombs we need for Kakariko right off the bat and the back of escape, so that'll be nice. That being said, it's fairly likely that both of our runners will just head straight from the sanctuary to the back of to Kakariko, since we don't have to worry about potentially needing to get bombs or needing to buy them.
Just some rupees there.
Yeah, Ninban showing us that there can be only one as he takes out his doppelganger.
So we're heading out of the escape area. Have to work our way back up to the first floor. Let's get some dry points in this where you're basically just watching execution, which is important, of course. You know, even though this is very early in the seed, you never know when have those few seconds here and there will make a difference.
Yeah, most definitely. Our runners are trying to make sure that this is a sub 6-minute escape. And with those early bombs, it might actually be doable. There's some times that the escape does take a bit longer because of the chase down for bombs. But since we got them really early, I could see both of our runners kind of just about skipping everything else and just going straight to the back of the escape. So far, they are both making really good time. So it's pretty cool to watch guys just run through stuff that takes us all a bit longer. Well, I guess I'll only speak for me. It takes me a bit longer.
Oh, more bombs.
Yeah, interesting. The ropes are part of the bomb pack too, because those are traditionally a different pack from the guards. So those aren't guaranteed to be. That's another place you could get bombs if the guards don't give you any.
Next up, we got the key rat. We'll see if the key rat cooperates for them both. Right into Zaz's path. And looks like Ninban got a good path too. Then rupees. Oh, there's a mirror.
That mirror would have been a bit more useful in Zelda's cell, because you could have actually used it to propel yourself back to the very front of the castle, but it's nice to have. That's one of those items that, in my opinion, is fairly underrated for routing. People don't really think about how much of a time save it is, or how quickly you can loop in Light World and Dark World locations, but it really makes that much easier.
So Sazas is out first, then Ban right behind. So we got the Moon Pearl, we got the mirror out of that. Nothing that really points us a specific direction yet.
Yeah, at this point I think we're going to be doing the whole wait for Kakariko to give you a direction.
Yeah, the mirror of course is nice, but until you get Dark World access, it really doesn't do anything. The Moon Pearl, of course, is only useful for the Dark Worlds. Oh, we got a nice, I believe it's going to be a Tier 2 triple.
Yep, Tier 2 is what Tier 3 normally is, so nice way to get rupees if we ever need them.
Saza's going to check the Lumberjack. Just 10 arrows.
Good catch there. I saw the number, but I wasn't sure if it was arrows or rupees or something else. Big 20 there in the mushroom spot. So far, the seed is just throwing money at us.
Suppose it could have been 10 bombs, too. But yeah, I believe arrows and bombs are the only thing that can have the 10 marker on them.
And as I said, the seed's throwing money at us.
So we'll have enough for Bottle Vendor for sure.
Yeah, Bottle Vendor's going to be easy, and we're not worried about grabbing bombs at this point, given that we know just about every guard in the area will drop them if prompted. So, yeah, bombs aren't going to be too much of an issue for this seed, at least for now. Got enough money for Bottle Vendor, and we have a nice way to farm them. Ninban isn't aware of that, but Asazas is. So that might come in handy later. We could also have a situation where Kakariko just gives us nearly 1,000 rupees and farming doesn't really matter.
Well, let's see. Maybe there's a second sword. And a bottle for Sick Kid. More bombs. And 10 arrows.
Alright, so the sword is nice. It is a little bit nervy as we get 50 more rupees in the back of Blind's hut there. because that sword is one of the requirements for Aghanim, and since we already have the Moon Pearl, that could lead to our Dark World access being through there. The bottle is nice, though. It means we're going to get to check Sick Kid while we're here. The only other thing that could make this even better in terms of Kakariko-specific routing is if the well drops the flute.
There's a bow. How's that?
Alright, so that'll point these runners towards Eastern, but it won't be in logic unless we get either a fire rod or a lamp.
And of course, early bow is always pendant Eastern. That's at least what it feels like.
Yeah, exactly. We will see, though. In order to put this in logic, we either need the fire rod or the lamp, and the lamp is the thing that we're missing to put Aghanim into logic too. So...
And the chicken hut, more bombs.
We already have bombs. We don't need any more.
What does the sick kid have? More bombs.
I swear, if there's bombs in the back of this tavern.
No, piece of heart.
Okay, good. So we just had people trying to blow up half of Kakariko as opposed to all of it. Alrighty, so we're going to get a library check and then a race game check. And then, I don't know, we'll actually probably see our runners do South Shore.
Got a blue cane in the library. Probably won't be coming back for that. That was a quick check by Ninban there.
I think it was just a 5 rupee.
Looked blue.
Exactly.
Okay, yep, there we go.
Alright, so Ninban headed down to South Shore. We're going to get a dam check here, and with the mirror, actually, that will let us go ahead and handle 2 checks in 1. We won't have to exit the dam in order to check it, but I think Ninban is going to go ahead and do Mini Moldorm Cave first.
Yeah, I think Ninban's going to go with Mini Moldorm Cave to the dam to Gina, and asazas might go dam to Mini Moldorm to the Ice Rod Cave.
Yep, this is the this is one of the eternal Sphere Zero arguments between most of our racers. Is which one of those Sphere Zero checks do you orphan early? Ice Rod or Aghanim? As we see the hammer, so that's part 2.
And asazas found the gloves.
Alrighty, so both of our runners are going to have Dark World access in just a moment here. Ninban probably wanted to check and see what that crab dropped, but it was not meant to be. Alright, so 12 minutes, 10 seconds. We have Dark World access on Ninban's side, and 2 seconds later, Asazas gets it. So relatively early 3-heart Dark World access. Let's have fun.
Well, neither runner's going to go straight to the Dark World. They are... Actually, no, Ninban is. He's going to go right up to Hype Cave.
Yeah, and with as early as this is, we might actually get something useful in here.
Asazas is heading to the Ice Rod Cave.
Alright, so pendants at Mire and Ice, and the other 5-6 crystals sitting in Turtle Rock.
Just a boomerang and Ice Rod Cave.
Alright, so Ninban gonna want to be careful here. Just about everything in the Dark World does 2 hearts of contact damage or more. And let's rate that hut cave. 20 rupees, a quarter heart. Make that 40 rupees, make it 60 rupees, and then the flute. I don't know, what do you think, JP?
Flute saves it.
It does. It also gives Ninban a relatively nice route to follow. Actually, I'm not sure where Ninban... Okay, Ninban just taken that way. Ninban will be able to go ahead and clear a lot of these locations here on the way up to Kakariko, and then activate that flute. Yeah, trying to avoid that Parabomber. Those suckers do a bunch of damage, and they're just erratic enough to really mess with you.
So with the mirror, he can check the cave south of the grove here.
Yep, and then I imagine he'll go Stumpy, Digging Game, and then Mirror and get that flute.
While asazas gonna continue to follow Ninban. I was actually kind of curious if either of them would dare to make a pod play right now, since you, in theory, could clear it. But 4-heart green mail, that'd be pretty ugly.
I mean, my main concern... Well, okay, we'll take that back, because it's 4-heart blue mail now. But still, 4 hearts with no fire source for that turtle room? Those 5 items call, but I'm not sure they're calling that strongly.
It would be tempting, and if I was a risk taker, I'd go for it. Just because I know my opponent wouldn't do it so fast, but I also definitely agree with holding on until you at least get a little more safety.
We'll see, though. These guys are good. Ooh, that's a Tempered Sword. That makes the play a little more likely. Tempered Sword makes Helmasaur a lot easier than having to deal with Master Sword. So that would help there. Tempered Sword's also easier for the turtle room, because slashes will go ahead and take those turtles out.
And then Ben gonna activate his flute. They do have some options though for crystal dungeons. You could go up to Hera and do that, but without a fire source, there's no guarantee you can clear it. You could go into Thieves Town right now. With Hammer, it'll be a single dip.
Blue mail would actually make that not terrible. I know that we can do blind with a script, and pretty much all the runners here have no difficulty doing that. But Thieves Town itself can be rather treacherous. But blue mail means that nothing's taken off more than a single heart, so manageable, I believe.
Yeah, it's still early. That overworld looks a little bit better, especially for safety and stuff. But at the same time, when you have crystal dungeons, you can do. It's just a matter of how long do you really want to put them off.
Yep. And Azazas has released the Quacken, which will give him access to the mountain officially. Actually, with the mirror and the hammer, that's access to the east side of the mountain too. So that's a nice slew of items there, even without including Hera.
That is true.
I don't know that you'd want to make the gamble on either finding a fire source up the mountain somewhere or it not being required to beat Hera. But it's a gamble I wouldn't be surprised to see. As Azazas did some landscaping there for our fellows in the Dark World.
The other thing I'm a little surprised, neither runner elected to go into Skull Woods right now. They're both leaving that alone.
Yeah, I'm somewhat surprised that we didn't see at least a check. A lot of times runners will run through there real quick, see if they can grab both the items or at least one of them. Because Skull Woods is kind of a Sphere Zero Dark World check, at least the front of it. So a lot of times it will have something useful, even though it only does have 2 items. Ninban is going to go ahead and head in there with 5 hearts total and blue mails. We'll see how this works out. Worth pointing out, though, one of those bottles does have red goo for both of our runners, so they do have a backup if they can spot it before before everything goes really south. Alright, so with that compass, we have located 2 of the 4 items in Thieves' Town thus far. There are 2 more hiding in the back somewhere that we will hopefully find shortly.
Kind of just looking for that next piece at this point. Something that'll send you a certain direction. Like I said, Eastern Death Mountain is open, but I would imagine these runners might want to wait on that right now until, at a minimum, you got a fire source, but at the same time, you might want to wait for hook shots or mitts, or just something that'll help you out.
Yeah, at this point, it's nice to climb the mountain and be able to clear all the Light World stuff, but if you can get something else that'll let you clear at least some of the Dark World stuff, or at least guarantee a clear of Tower of Hera, then it becomes all the more friendly to go up there and do. There's also, as you mentioned before, Pod completely in logic.
Well, I wouldn't say completely in logic. Without lamp, a lot of Pod is out of logic.
Yeah, that's fair. Between the Pod and Eastern area, though, even if you assume worst case scenario, we're still looking at, what, 6 or 7 items between Sahasrara that neither of our runners have checked.
That is
Eastern,
true.
where we're almost definitely going to get 2 items out of, and then Pod would give us, I think, at least 2 or 3, so...
I will say lamp logic is always interesting to think about, because you want to take it seriously, but at the same time you don't. I think this early in the race, it's a little better to follow non-lamp logic, or sorry, not. It's better early this early in a race to follow lamp logic, because if lamp's late, then those lamp checks are going to yield nothing. But as you get further into a race, you want to just start ignoring the lamp logic, especially if you do have the fire rod.
Yeah, that's a fair point. As we get our 3rd item, I believe, unless I missed one. It's all kind of that counter argument of where do you think the lamp's going to be, and what are you willing to gamble for it? Because if you want to make the assumption the lamp's out there somewhere, and it's out there somewhere just kind of early and out of the way, so maybe Zora or whatever, then you just want to go ahead and ignore your lamp logic, because you assume that getting that lamp is something you should have gotten already. It all depends upon the runner and the situation, so we will see how it works out. We'll see if our runners diverge on that, or if they both kind of make the same choices when it comes to lamp logic.
I think it's also interesting we're talking about that, especially after their first race where they never did find the lamp.
Yeah, that's a good point. As Blind makes like a thief and drops 100 rupees.
So first crystal at 22 minutes. That's about a good time for a regular 7/7 seed. Let's see. Looks like Ninban might make the Skullwoods play now.
Yeah, at the very least, we're going to get a... Yep, Skullwoods. Looks like it. Yep, Skullwoods. Okay. I was going to say it might be a bumper ledge check real quick first, but deciding to forego that at least until after Skullwoods. Might not do it at all. We'll see.
Asazas also has his first crystal.
Yeah, 2 excellent blind fights there to watch. Basically, just did it fully on script. I've stopped commenting on it just because there's nothing to say other than, hey, these guys are great. Look at this. It was a free fight for them because they're awesome.
Looks like we're finally going to get a little bit of divergence. As Asazas is going to climb the mountain.
Alright, so Asazas making that mountain play. Ninban going for Skullwoods right now. So far, that hasn't gotten him anything other than a small key, and well, 2 small keys and a large key. So we'll see if Skullwoods is going to divulge anything useful for us. Well, there's 1 item, 10 arrows.
Yeah, not the first item you wanted to see. Let's see if we can get the other in the front.
Alright, so we've got 1 more item location we have access to for Skullwoods, but Ninban is going to leave that behind for now.
Ninban going to give us a bumper ledge check. With the mirror out, he might also give us a graveyard ledge check.
You might as well while you're over here. It's probably the closest you're... Ooh, hello, Canis.
Okay. So that is cape locked.
Well, speaking of the cape, it's sitting right up on top of Spectacle Rock.
Okay.
Speaking, it shall appear. Oof, and since Ninban does not have the boots or the mitts, this is going to be a long walk around the graveyard.
This is a good route to remember if you're ever playing Rando Seeds, because Titan's mitts and boots logically can be in this cave. Hopefully we'll be able to see what Ninban sees in here. Oh, it's half magic. Okay.
That is actually really useful, especially if this seed continues to be stingy on health, as we do get a fire source locked Hera.
Yep, and no hookshot means no Hera pots. But we still have 8 items on the east side of Death Mountain that Asazas has access to.
Yep, so hold the phone on that. We might actually get something useful here. Actually, we might also see a current jump.
Yep, that's what Ninban's setting up, and he's got it.
First try. Okay, that... I don't understand how these guys do this so casually. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get a catfish check out of Ninban. We'll see if catfish gives us something useful. This is one of those locations that can can definitely troll a runner.
Hey, there's the mitts.
Oh, hello, mitts. Alright, so the seed is just giving us progression this way and that. We'll see if there's anything else useful over here.
Will the catfish check pay off for Ninban? And no, it does not. He's a little short on money, so he could try to get the money quick, see if he can check Zora. Though he's gonna set up a Ancilla fake flipper here, I believe.
Oh, that was close.
All over Asazas' side. Bunch of hearts in this cave. And a book.
Alright, so that was actually one of the big differences in the last race. Ninban and Asazas both got that early book. And Ninban decided to go to Desert rather early and grab the first glove, whereas Asazas was a bit later in checking for that. So it'll be interesting to see if Azazas takes that book right away or just continues to go ahead and play as usual.
Well, you should check Ether while he's up here, but he might do that after Super Bunny Cave. We'll also get a check and see what our requirement for Turtle Rock is.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to jump in here just yet since we are 0 for 3 on medallions, but there is Bombos sitting as the requirement for Turtle Rock. Hopefully the only medallion we're going to need today.
Oh, and Ninban finds boots.
This is going to be one of those seeds just really hard to keep track of, I fear. Hello, Bombos.
Bombos keys Turtle Rock right outside. It's outside under the doormat.
Alright, so right now, what neither of our runners know is that Cane of Samaria is fully in logic for this exact moment. Ninban knows where it is, and Azazas knows where the cape is, which is required to get it. So we'll see how long it takes our runners to catch up on the other portion of that piece of knowledge.
So just some rupees and bonk rocks. Let's see what Asazas gets from an ether tablet. Bombs from the sky.
Alright, so there's your 10 bomb pack, which does confirm that we were looking at 10 arrows in the Lumberjack Cave.
We're gonna get a spike cave check.
Yep, with that cape, we'll be able to go ahead and finish it. Ninban's actually going to see the cape up here in just a moment's time as he is rescuing the old man.
Saz is gonna have to be a bit quick. He should have enough magic. Makes it through, but just yeah, nothing in there for him.
Yeah, just 20 rupees.
So Ninban getting a little bit of an advantage. With those boots, if he finds the book up here, he could... Well, no fire source. Desert would not be in logic yet. At least not,
we're still missing that fire source.
But Asazas, this might be a combo Saha Pod Eastern play.
Yeah, you have everything to do it, so this is about as ideal as you can get. Obviously, Azazas would love the boots to make things a little faster, but right now we have everything we need to go ahead and take out this area. Fire source, notwithstanding, but dark rooms aren't going to scare any of these runners, especially not at 8 hearts right now. A lot more friendly than the 4.
Alright, what has Sahar Slip been holding on to? Some bombs, an arrow, and 10 arrows. Why did he separate the 1 arrow from the 10 arrows?
Because that's a special arrow, JP. That arrow was given to him by his grandfather.
Very fair.
And we just pilfered it. How does that make you feel?
Not good.
Alright, Azazas just skipped out on a full magical refill, so feeling pretty good about the no magic he has, as Ninban does get the second piece of that knowledge, so they'll be able to go grab the Cane of Samaria at their leisure.
Sazas in the pod. Ninban's gonna get kicked out of here pretty quick.
Yep, pod not bow locked yet. Not that it really matters since we did get the bow fairly early.
Ninban's about to get a surprise. Oh, we figured it out pretty quick.
Okay, good. At least it happened before the coffee break had finished rather than after.
I think many runners have made that mistake before, trying to progress in here without a fire source.
You know, amusingly enough, I think that's like the one mistake I haven't made. Going into Spike Cave without the hammer, going into Swamp without the flippers, I've done all that. I haven't done Coffee Break with no fire source yet. I'm sure it'll happen. It's really nice to see someone else do it, though. I'll be thinking to myself when it happens, well, at least Ninban almost did it that one time.
Ninban can get his power or his Titan's mitts. When he goes to Dark Death Mountain, he will have an extra check that asazas did not have.
Yeah, that's a good point. That first chest in Hookshot Cave is actually in logic for bonking.
Well, technically not in logic, because boots are flipper locked. But yes, if the boots are in logic, it is in logic for that first cave, for that first chest in Hookshot Cave, to be in logic by bonking.
Look, between us having no fire source with Azazas in pod and Ninban going ahead and just fake flippering through the flipper locations, I'm not too worried about what's in logic right now. They can keep track of it. That's why they're doing this competitively. I'm just going to try and keep track of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, so Ninban grabbing their book. Did Azazas ever check Ether Tablet?
He did. It was 10 bombs.
That's right. Goodness gracious. Speaking of keeping track of stuff, there's a reason I'm sitting here in the commentary booth. It's because I can't keep track of anything when I'm playing.
Alright, so we're about to see a lot of dark on Asazas' side. We might see items. Depends on what they are.
Yeah, thankfully the one big item that we normally can't see in a dark room we already have, and that's the Titan's Mitts.
Did not see that one.
Yeah, and I don't think any of Azaz's counters changed, so it wasn't bombs or arrows or a small key. Azaz's also doesn't seem very concerned about it at the moment. Usually we'll get a check of that quickly right after exiting the dark room. We do not have a check of that yet.
The bonk chest in Hookshot Cave. Okay, that's actually big knowledge right there. Wow. I was about to start wondering if we had a logic break here, but that means the hookshot is somewhere available before the flippers and the boots. So that's actually good information for Ninban.
That is. Huh. So, Meyer area or perhaps Eastern?
Yeah, we might see a hookshot here in either Pod or Eastern. Asazas did also pick up the silvers as well.
Yeah, that was a good catch. We also might see it in Desert, actually, because we did get that book over here on the east side, and that was a check that was in logic. I don't think Asazas realized they had silvers, though, going for the double shot on the red mimic. And yep, Ninban taking that logic and just going to go ahead and knock out the Meyer area for that exact reason.
Well, our Meyer access is Ether.
Alright, so we can't get in there yet. That's one good thing, at least.
Try to pay attention to Asazas' inventory. I don't think I've seen anything new other than what we've seen so far.
I don't believe so. Alright, so Ninban is going to go ahead and try to do as much as he can in Desert here. Not going to be able to complete it unless we get either a fire rod or a lamp somewhere in here. But we'll be able to get the front of it done.
This was not a boots locked dungeon, with just the compass on the torch.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we're going to have to go back and forth here, because we're going to get a small key from this big chest, and then we'll get hopefully something on that far side. It would be nice to get both items. We could just as likely get a map and one item over there and have the other item be sitting on land mode.
Kind of clear up a little bit in chat. The reason the boots cannot have been the item required to get to the flippers was because the flippers were logically required to get to the boots. The game would not expect you to do that sequence break. As a result, it has to be the hookshot that was intended to get to those flippers.
Yeah, because of wonderful, wonderful programming, you cannot be required to use the flippers to get the boots and then be required to use the boots to get the flippers. So because there's only one other way to get to that chest in Hookshot Cave, and it is, ironically enough, the hookshot, that's got to be what gives us our flippers, which would give us our boots. Meanwhile, we got a lovely fetch quest over on Ninban's side. Shovel. And the ice rod. Okay. At least we won't have to look for that.
Yep, we do need that ice rod.
Asazas, meanwhile, picking up their second crystal and well on the way to maybe clearing this for a green pendant. Not sure if they're going to or not.
Oh, there's a nice pickup. So that is a nice pickup for Asazas. It'll help him out quite a bit. And we now know where all the pieces for Total Rock are.
Yes, we do. That is the first thing that came to mind when I saw that fire rod. So, at this point, what are we still even looking for?
We need...
I mean, the lamp would be...
We need hook shots. We absolutely need hook shots.
The lamp's technically required, but it's not going to stop our runners at this point, since the fire rod works as a fire source for every place the lamp does. So yeah, I think we're just looking at hookshot.
And chat talking about is a pedestal. I think pedestal is dead because Ice Palace is locked behind hookshot, which is locked, but of course requires the flippers.
So it's not even necessarily that. Because the boots are locked behind the hookshot, you wouldn't have a way to get into Mire without the hookshot. So the hookshot cannot be on pedestal.
Yep, so we can eliminate that from our mind. And actually, we can pretty much... I think that means we can pretty much eliminate Ice Palace and Mire as options, at least on our end. The runners might not don't have that info yet necessarily. But for us, we know Ice Palace and Mire are going to have nothing.
I mean, Ice Palace might... I'm trying to sit here. Well, no, because you would need the hook shot to get the flippers. For the flippers, right? Which also means the hook shot can't be sitting in swamp. So we're going to get a go mode swamp.
Yeah. So we've at least on our side, we've narrowed down the hook shot to where it can be. It could still be the second item in Skull Woods. It could be in Turtle Rock. I think
it could be sitting in Hera. It could be in the second item on land mode that's in Desert Palace.
Could be on Zora. Yes, it could be Zora.
Yeah.
What of our Pyramid Fairy? No, can't be Pyramid. Actually, no, it could be Pyramid Fairy. Skull Woods and Turtle Rock. No, it's Desert and Turtle Rock that are 5/6 crystals, but both are accessible without hookshot.
Yep, we can complete both of those without use of the boots, the flippers, or the hookshot, so we'll be good to go there. So this is interesting. If you're following the logic, then you can avoid any locations that require the boots, the hookshot, or the flippers.
Could be. We also have Bombo's tablet that would be in logic. I don't think that was mentioned. Yeah, we've got a lot of locations. But we have limited down to where it could be.
Yeah, Smith Chain is another option. Actually, so is King's Tomb. We haven't seen King's Tomb
We
yet,
did,
because...
Ninban checked it.
Oh, did he go back and check it?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I missed that. So difference here on Azaz's side, we are going to see that second item in Desert since Azaz's has the Fire Rod.
I feel like Ninban's in the better spot right now, just with his knowledge. But we still have a lot to play out.
Yeah, that knowledge of the Cane of Samaria is going to come in handy. Although, to be fair, that with the Fire Rod Azaz's has, I wouldn't be surprised to see them head over towards Skull Woods sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and of course this is also assuming Ninban goes into Eastern right after this as he messes up his bomb jumping pod.
I would honestly be shocked. Oh, as he gets popped again there. I would honestly be shocked to see Ninban not do Eastern, given that, we have everything required, other than a fire source, which isn't going to stop us for Dark Rooms reasons.
So there's silver arrows for Ninban.
We could also be looking at Dig Spot as a potential here. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, basically the three locations we can completely eliminate on our end, at least, are Swamp, Mire, and Ice. None of those locations will have any progression.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. We'll see. We'll see if the runners make those same conclusions that we do. Very nice land mow by Azazas here, and just a piece of heart. So this is not what we're looking for. Yeah, it's one thing to be sitting here and just go ahead and say, oh, well, the runners need this and this and this, and they can't be here and there and there. But it's a completely different story to do it when you're trying to run around not getting killed.
So right now, if Asazas, he's going to go to Checkerboard Cave for sure. Get his Ice Rod. If he goes to Skull Woods right after this and sees the cane on the bumper ledge, he'll be in pretty good shape. Look, I'm going to add... Yeah. I'll add one more thing here just in case people are curious. Bumper Cave in the logic we're using is not hookshot locked, so we do not have to worry about that for the cane's logic.
Although, to be fair, if it were hookshot locked, then we could just go ahead and take Turtle Rock off of it, too. We'd really be low on locations.
Yeah. Since we're playing Advanced Logic, though, Advanced Logic does assume you can get through Bumper Cave without the hookshot. Just to kind of elaborate a little more on that, There is a difference between basic and advanced logic for the randomizer. For tournaments, we use advanced logic. Basic logic will basically put some things out of logic that you normally wouldn't consider. For example, hookshot being required for Bumper Cave. In basic logic, it would be.
I'm glad you know about that stuff, because I don't really know about a whole lot of the V31 changes. I know about some of them, but not nearly as intimately as I probably should. There is a decent chance, though, that Asazas is not going to pick up those boots.
Yeah, there actually is a pretty good chance Asazas will never pick those boots up. In all likelihood, the way he's trending towards a hookshot go mode. Actually, no, he needs to get the flippers for go mode. He's trending towards the flippers.
Right, and those flippers are going to be up in hookshot. Oh yeah, so he's going to need the boots unless he can find the hookshot relatively early. So it's going to be. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see where he goes and where the hookshot is, and then we'll be able to determine, whether or not it's likely that Asazas will ever actually find those boots.
Ninban's got his second crystal. If he mirrors over to Eastern, he'll get a fire rod.
I could not imagine him not. Okay, good. That's not. You don't want to see a runner get randoed.
Sometimes they will, but it was very likely he was going to do this because he didn't find anything in pod beyond the silvers.
Another quick possibility is that I know that Asazas didn't clear Eastern. How far is Ninban going to go? Yeah, so far Skull Woods, meanwhile, still kind of holding on to that last item for us, so it's either here on Mothula or it's in that chest that Asazas just walked by a couple seconds ago. Nice magic refill there.
I'm looking at Ninban. I'm not sure when Asazas left Eastern. I felt like he kept going after we got the fire rod. I don't remember how far.
Well, there's two items there. If this is either the third item or the big key, with the third item being in that big chest, I could see Asazas just being like, nope, never mind. Although I feel like if it's a third item, okay, so it's the big key. So if the third item is here in that big chest, then that could be what caused Asazas to go, okay, I'm not going to make a gamble on Green Pendant.
Nope, he only got two items out of here. Because I know he didn't go beyond that. But right. Ninban is.
And as I stated before, that last item is sitting here because Mothula did not drop it.
Now, another interesting little piece of logic to consider. Lamp will not be in this upcoming chest for Ninban, the normal vanilla big key chest. But Lamp could be on Green Pendant, because Fire Rod would allow this dungeon to be cleared right now.
Right, that is a good point. To my knowledge, though, we don't have anything that's behind Lamp, so it wouldn't be like a completely and totally lost cause to go ahead and check this.
Just 300
so
rupees.
There's our third item, and Ninban is going to go ahead and help out.
So we will have Green Pendant pending for now. That could be our hook shot, but we need to find the lamp. Well, actually, no, we don't need to find the lamp first. But we will need that. Will be on our minds for a bit. And what is Ninban going for?
Probably just going to go ahead and get Desert out of the way.
Yes. Yeah, he's just going to go finish Desert up. There is an item left in Desert for him, so he wants to get that out of the way.
Yep, meanwhile, Asazas is going to be taking the long way around here to try and find those 10 arrows, I believe. That was the second item here in Skullwoods. And then actually, this will be somewhat vital. If Asazas goes ahead and checks that bumper ledge, then that's going to be Cane of Samaria. If not, that's kind of an orphaned portion of the map for him.
And it looks like he's going to Bumper Ledge, so he'll get his Cane of Samaria, which will put Turtle Rock completely clearable for him.
Yep, still pending that lamp, which we technically need, but at this point we're not too worried about lamp logic, seeing as we just need the hookshot.
Yeah, and of course, lamp could easily be in Turtle Rock.
It could. That's a good point. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can check without actually getting to the lamp locked portion. Ooh, Asazas takes a fall there.
Ninban about to grab his third crystal. I believe Asazas is at 4. He did clear deserts. We've been... Our tracker's been keeping up, but we've been having some delays on updates.
Yeah. You can't flute in the dark world, my friend.
We're not playing inverted today. Ninban, though, with that fire rod now in hand and knowing where the cane is, he's gonna do Skull Woods and go pick up his cane.
Yep, sound logic on his part. Asazas did skip the graveyard ledge, but we know there's nothing there. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what it was, but it wasn't useful. So
it was half magic.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Maybe I'm gonna undo that whole not useful thing.
Yeah, that's somewhat useful. Not progression, but useful. And Ninban picking up the cane first.
Not a bad idea. Some runners like to make notes. Some runners just kind of like to keep the notes in their head. And especially if Ninban is one of the second... Oh, Ninban taking the same fall as Oz did. Especially if Ninban is one of the second type of runner, it's nice just to go ahead and get that off of your mental radar.
Now, as we go further and further into this race, we definitely have to look at that boots advantage for Ninban. Right now, I feel like it's a little bit more closer. It looks closer than it is. Looks like Asazas has a lead to an extent, but at the same time, without those boots, he's in a bit of trouble. Ninban will, especially when we get to the gauntlets, that's where you'll definitely see the difference between boots and no boots if we're at that point.
Honestly, we're going to see it in Swamp, too. There's a lot of long hallways in Swamp, and even though it's going to be a go mode Swamp, so the least amount of Swamp that we could physically see, there's still a lot of time to use the boots.
But right now we need to find out where that hook shot is, because that's going to spell out a lot of things for the rest of this race. And it could be right here in Turtle Rock.
It could also still be sitting on Zora, because we haven't seen either runner check that yet. Oof, that would not be fun.
Yeah, if it's on Zora, advantage Asazas, because he hasn't checked the Zora area at all. But at the same time, if he's following logic, he might be less inclined to go over there since hookshot locks flippers.
Yep, and because Asazas didn't get the boots from the hobo, they're not going to have access to those flippers for a while.
In fact, if hookshot's not in Turtle Rock, Asazas might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's going to be another dip of the mountain area for Asazas to come back up there, not to mention the fact that after we do clear Turtle Rock, Asazas is not going to be looking forward to coming back here for any reason whatsoever. We will also get a Hera clear, though, which would be nice. That'll put Asazas at 6 crystals and just needing the hookshot and the flippers on their side to be able to finish up. Meanwhile, Mothula goes down for Ninban. Gives him a little bit of difficulty, but wasn't too bad overall.
So will Ninban follow Asazas into Turtle Rock?
I would be really surprised to see him not, since the 2 dungeons that Ninban has left other than Swamp are full clearable right now. Oh, we're gonna get a paycheck. Well, we know there's nothing on here, but it'll be kind of nice to see.
If Ninban's been tracking his logic, he'll know where the hookshot can't be at this point.
Yeah, but if Ninban's been tracking his logic, he'd know that it couldn't be on pedestal. So this could be interesting, because if Ninban has not been checking, then that also puts Meyer, well, which we don't have Ether for yet, but Meyer and Ice Palace into potential locations for Ninban, even though we know the hookshot can't be there.
There's a Vanilla Big Key in Turtle Rock. Ninban is going up to Hera and Turtle Rock. He's going to do Hera first. We have not seen either item in Hera yet. I believe we've seen a small key and a compass so far.
Yep, and we are not going to see a Hera pot clip since we are still missing that hookshot. Would be kind of funny to see it up here in Hera, because it would be it would be, strictly speaking, a no Hera pot clip for you, see? Ninban foregoing the coffee break, I say, although we might be taking it for just a moment here.
Right now, I will say that the potential worst spot for hookshot to be will be on Green Pendant, as both runners have basically isolated that at this point.
Yeah, that would likely be a last location for both of them at this point, honestly. Especially with pod cleared fully and everything else just out of the way for that area. Have we gotten a check of the pyramid ledge yet?
We have not.
Oh man, that'd be funny. That would be worst case scenario for our runner's mental state. Like, that's not worst case scenario in terms of I'm going to last location it, but it's worst case scenario in terms of I'm going to see it here and then think, oh no, my opponent had this an hour ago.
Alright, Asazas has only one more chest in Logic in Turtle Rock. Ninban's getting up towards the higher levels of Hera. We're about to find out some other items in here. There's the first item of Hera, just some bombs. Hey, there's the lamp! I feel like I've seen the lamp in that chest way too many times.
I'm just not gonna comment. I got nothing, you know. Hey, heard you like dark rooms, here it is. I'm not even gonna try to figure out the logic of what you were supposed to beat when.
I think thinking about everything that is logical to be there, but yeah, it is kind of convoluted.
Let's just go with Azaz found the lamp. Now everything that we found is officially in logic.
And we have another spot for the hookshot to be now. There's the powder.
Azaz
Oh no!
just got 1.0.
Oh no!
Okay, so thankfully they did check Mimic Cave, so that was not an all the way back to the start, but that is still not fun to do.
Yeah, that could have been a soft lock, but thankfully it was not.
Oh, that was scary, because I saw them get hit by a laser as Ninban gets dead-rocked. I saw them get hit by a laser and then fall, and I was like, okay, they have 2 hearts, they're going to be fine. And then they got hit by that stupid laser again while they were falling, and it was like, oh, nope, there goes your health.
Okay, so we're going to take another shot at Laser Bridge now.
It wasn't even Laser Bridge. I wouldn't be surprised to see this mini Helmasaur get a silver to the face. Yep, don't do it again.
This is where not having the boots really hurts.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable with non-boots laser skips, this is not a fun place to be.
A nice idea. Asazas going to leave the potion, the green potion there right now. One more.
If we get a blue rupee here, never mind. I was gonna say, if we got a blue rupee here, that would just be vanilla items, just kind of shuffled slightly, but we got a 300 instead.
Heading back to Trinex. Trinex will have an item. We have both the map and the compass.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned about this one-hit KO, or maybe two-hit KO that Azaz is going to be dealing with. 5 hearts is not enough to make you last long if things go wrong here.
Ninban, you forgot something.
Oops. To be fair, up until you said that, I forgot too, so...
Alright, so nice phase 1 for Asazas on Trinex. There's phase 2. What item does Trinex have?
The mushroom! Okay, good.
Single rupee.
I didn't actually want to see the mushroom.
So, hookshot not in Turtle Rock.
And not in Hera either, so it's out there somewhere in the overworld. Alright, so now we can start thinking about locations in the overworld it could be at. We've got Catfish, we've got Green Pendant.
Catfish has been
we
checked.
Have Bombo's Tablet.
Well, we have the shovel. I think the Asazas is going to go check right now.
Mm-hmm.
Little surprised Asazas did not go to Hera.
I honestly think they forgot.
Big spot, just 20 rupees.
Okay, we also do have Smith Chain available.
Might be what Asazas is thinking about. He doesn't have access to Swamp yet because he has no flippers.
This also could be a Pyramid Fairy combined with Pyramid Ledge check for Azazas, which they would then be able to take to Catfish and then do Zora. So yeah, this is actually really good routing from Azazas. We're going to see a whole bunch of checks. We're going to be able to knock them all off of our list, or be able to knock the hook shot off of our list. Now keep in mind that hook shot is not going to put Azazas in go mode because he still needs the flippers.
Yeah, right now it's so hard to say who to favor in this. I still feel like Ninban's in slightly better space, slightly better spot, but if Asazas finds the hookshot significantly before Ninban, that definitely could flip the script very easily. Here's that pyramid check. If it's here, these runners are gonna feel terrible.
Yes. I would agree with you that Ninban's in the lead, except their check of Pedestal. I'm not sure that Ninban is fully aware of what is and isn't in logic here.
There's hookshot.
There it is.
But that's not, as you said, that's not go mode for Asazas. He needs to go back up Death Mountain and get the flippers. And if he makes a play, well, he can't go into Mire. He can't do that yet. No Ether. Him finding Ether would be a terrible thing right now.
Yeah, that's if you want this to get to Game 3 or just want Azazas to win in general, you do not want something like Zora having Ether. That's bad news.
Yeah, right now he knows it won't be an ice anyway because obviously he can't get there without flippers.
Yep,
Meyer is
which
locked.
also means we are definitely not going to see those boots anywhere. Not from Azaz's.
Yeah, he's not gonna do fake flipper checks because all he's looking for is flippers. So no chance he gets boots. So he needs to find the flippers fast before Ninban finds that hook shot. And he needs a bit of a gap over Ninban in getting the hook shot as well. Now, leaving Hera behind might end up helping him here, because it's going to send him back up the mountain to check Hera.
That's a good point. That makes going back up the mountain a lot more friendly than it would have been otherwise, because the only thing, that hook shot unlocks 4 checks, but it's not fun to get up there, and you basically want to clear out everything off the mountain before you climb back up it.
We'll see what Ninban's plans are after Turtle Rock. He's almost to Trinex after clearing out Laser Bridge.
Alright, so at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and a nice handful of seconds, Zora has given us just a piece of heart.
Whereas it says it's going, he's starting at the mountain cave. Not pulling up the flute. I think this is his Hera check. Never mind.
Oh, you just got juked.
Now Asazas is in trouble.
Yeah, this is almost definitely going to be a Smith chain. And that's going to take, I mean, not a terrible amount of time since we do have the mirror and the flute, but it's not going to be good. And you got to keep in mind that Ninban does have those boots and is going to be the only runner to ever get those boots this seed. So Azazas needs a little bit of a cushion.
But as you mentioned earlier, if Ninban's not tracking his logic, he could easily get into some bad spots here too. But he's about to get his other 5/6 crystal. Will he make the Pyramid Fairy play?
It's another thing if he's thinking about it. If you're thinking about Pyramid Fairy, you go ahead and knock out those 3 locations because you also haven't checked the Pyramid Ledge before you go into ice for 3 potential locations there. Even if you're not thinking about some locations being locked by the hookshot. But that's only if he's thinking about it.
He's doing Smith chain.
Alrighty, so we're gonna see him.
This might be Smith chain into Pyramid Fairy.
That's a possibility. I feel like with the flute, though, Ninban is just going to go ahead and save and quit upon grabbing the purple flute.
But you also...
Or not save and quit, but...
But you also still have Bombos sitting out there. That Bombos tablets.
That is a fair point. I don't know. We could get a check of Bombo's tablet first then, and then see Pyramid Fairy. Again, if it's something Ninban's thinking about, that Pyramid Fairy location has gotten people before, where it's just not something you're thinking about, because usually it's not something that becomes active until much later, and it's not something that becomes directly active upon getting an item. So I've seen that left before, just out of not remembering it.
Well, Asazas is going towards Hookshot Kit. There's nothing else he can be up here for. So he's about to hit go mode.
Yeah, Azazas will be the first person in go mode. He's still going to be a Hera behind where Ninban is now, just in terms of cleared dungeons. But Hera's not too bad to clear.
Especially since he'll be able to Hera pots.
That's a good point. Yeah, if Azaz is familiar and comfortable with Hera pot, because I've seen a lot of people who haven't quite gotten it down yet, then that's going to make Hera just even faster than it already would be.
So yeah, but if Asazas hits Go mode first, which he actually will, the thing is, how much of a lead is he going to have on Ninban? He needs a lead. Without those boots.
Not only does he need a lead, but he needs a lead like post-Hera. He needs enough of a lead that he still has one coming out of Hera going into Swamp. Because Swamp's going to be faster, and GT's going to be faster. Everything's going to be so much faster for Ninban with those boots.
And there's Go mode for Asazas.
Yep, 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 48 seconds, and he is just, nope, I am done.
But we're going to say Go mode pending one thing.
Oh no, don't put it there. That's just not nice. Alright, so what JP is talking about is there's a 1 in 22 chance that our GT Big Key is going to be on the torch. And if it's there, then technically we're going to need the boots for that, which, as you can see, Asazas does not have. Asazas will not be getting those boots unless the GT Big Key is sitting on that torch. And by that point, it's definitely going to be Ninban's race to lose.
He's going to do Swamp first, which makes sense at this point. Doing Hera, it's irrelevant when he does it, before or after this. Ninban, if he keeps following his path, he'll get there to Go mode. He's going to check Purple Chest. My guess is he'll check Bombo's tablet right after this.
Yeah, that would be the reason to go ahead and do it this way, so that you do have Dark World access. And then we're going to get a Bombo's tablet check, and it's going to be entirely about whether or not Ninban has Pyramid Fairy on the brain.
The worst thing would be if Ether's here and that he just decides to follow that. Hopefully he's been following his logic. Ooh. Okay, good. And he's going back for the portal. This has to be a pyramid check.
Yeah, so this is going to be a Pyramid Fairy check. Ninban is going to grab their Go mode in just a couple short minutes here, and will most likely have a lead now, if not in a couple minutes, once those boots kind of save him a little more time.
For Asazas, he doesn't need to check anything. He won't. He's very surprised if he opens any chest. He has Temper Sword and Silver Arrows. He needs nothing.
The only chest we might get is that waterfall chest, just because it's right along the way, and if it has boots, then awesome. But other than that, Asazas is not really looking for anything, so yeah, we're not going to get any chests at all. Yeah, honestly, same thing for Ninban here in just a moment.
Yeah, he might open chests just for the possibility of the boots. That'd be it. Once you get into GT, you're not even worried about that. After you check the torch, at least.
I was going to say, or you're very worried about it, depending on where that big key is.
Ninban about to grab his Go mode. And Ninban's in Go mode as well. He just has to clear Swamp before GT.
Yep, so actually, Ninban might be the first person into GT.
He might, yeah. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Full heart there. Not bad to grab on Asazas' side. We got blue mail. 11 hearts would be fine, but we're not going to say no to another full one.
I mean, there's still stuff that can give Asazas some time. If he gets a quick big key and Ninban gets a really late big key, that could help Asazas. There are things that could still happen.
Oh yeah, there's GT big key routing is a point of argument for a lot of runners, especially when we have a new version like this one come out. The meta changes and then everyone starts to kind of play differently, as Asazas absolutely destroys Argus. We got a little bit of a high five here. Ninban going in, Asazas coming out. So we've got a Hera clear left for Asazas and a swamp clear for Ninban. So I guess that brings the question. We play the GT big key guessing game based upon the first one into Ganon's tower, right? Or is it the first one to get 7 crystals?
First one into Ganon's tower. I don't think we'll start the game just yet.
No.
We'll start it either when Ninban grabs his 7th crystal, or if for some reason Asazas grabs his 7th first, then we'll have a really quick game.
Yeah, because I'm not sure that the person to grab the crystal first will be the person in first. Well, actually, no, because Asazas is doing Hera, so never mind. If Asazas gets the crystal first, he'll be the first one into GT.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Asazas will be in the GT slightly before Ninban, but this is tough. I still think Ninban's got the advantage, but there's still so much that can happen.
Yeah, I would definitely argue that right now, in a vacuum, Ninban does have the advantage with the boots. Everything's just going to be a little bit faster. And that made-up time is going to make a difference. Now, Asazas could have some really good execution and minimize that difference, but no matter how good your execution is, on a straightaway without those boots, you're going to lose.
So Asazas just has to cross over in front of GT, a quick mirror, a quick Hera pot, and a quick Moldorm kill before he's in GT. Ninban approaching his 7th crystal.
Yeah, so at this rate, Ninban's going to be the first 7 crystals, but Asazas will be the first into GT.
Yeah, we'll start the game, I say, as soon as once we see one of them grab their 7th crystal, we'll start it.
And for those of you who may not be familiar with it, the GT Big Key Guessing Game is a nice little game we play. There are 22 locations in Ganon's Tower that could contain the Big Key. One of them does. We'll find out which one in just a moment here. But your job is to put those numbers in chat to guess. Don't do it yet. We haven't quite started. That being said, no negatives, no zeros, no fractions, no decimals. Just 1 through 22 integers, please, as Asazas pulls off a perfect Hera pot. And Argus just is Argus. There we go. We will be going off of, as JP said, the first person to enter Ganon's Tower. So we're not going off of Ninban until he gets there, if he gets there first. If Asazas gets there first, we'll be going off of his.
It's probably going to be a quick game because Asazas is about to go into GT. We'll be stopping it as soon as he goes in GT.
Alright, so JP, what is your guess for today, my friend?
I don't want it early because I want this to be a good race. I don't want Asazas to get beat by that. So I'm going to stick with my usual guess of 15.
Okay. I actually do want it early. I want both of our runners to go to the same spot and find it in, like, Hope Room. So I'm going to assume that we're going to get some Dark Magician strats here, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7's going to be my guess.
So Asazas will have a lead. GT route will play a big factor. But that's the biggest thing that Asazas has going for him right now.
Yeah, and right now Asazas is still about a minute ahead, so that's not bad. That's still a decent amount that Ninban's going to have to catch up. And there's a lot of execution-heavy parts of this gauntlet that are not dependent on the boots as much if you can still clear stuff quickly without it.
All right, just one 10 arrows, just 2 10 arrows. Here's the big moment coming up. If Asazas does not want to see that big key on the torch, it's a small key. Okay, he's fine. Technically, boots locked, but you don't need that. You're fine.
Yep. So at this point, the lack of keys in the Hope Room have kind of kept us from doing a full right strat. Ninban could still go Dark Magician, which would lead him to go to this room here that Asazas is in, clear these chests, and then clear right-hand side to the compass room. I don't know if that's something he's going to do, but we have 5 more checks out of the way here. We are up to 7 for Asazas, and still nothing. So my check is dead, yours is still alive.
It looks like Ninban is planning for Dark Magician.
So this could be huge.
There's chest 8, another small key.
If Ninban mirrors out, then this is going to be more of a lead for Asazas, unless that key is in one of the 4 chests in the compass room.
Now remember, even if Ninban finds it first, we are going by Asazas' count. There's the mirror.
Oh, here we go! All right, so Azaz, if it's sitting here in Rando Room at Bob's chest or behind Ice Armos, Azaz is going to have the advantage. If it's sitting in the Compass Room, that advantage is going to be on Ninban. And if it's in Tile Room, well, then everyone's just, SOL.
Here's 10 to 13. We've got a blue potion, bombs, a compass, and 10 arrows.
Alright, so we are down to 4 checks on either runner's side here before they have to switch and go to the other side.
We're gonna find out Ninban's side first. What's on Ninban's side? He's already got his mirror out ready. And of course... So some rupees... I'm not sure.
Okay, so with 2 keys, I'm assuming that Ninban did not find it, because if they did, I would assume that they're going off to the left. So it was not in that room. Azazas is going to be the first person to grab it if he could just get this bomb jump down.
Unless it's Tile Room.
I feel like Azazas would still be the first person to find it at that point, but we'd be a bit closer.
Asaz is having trouble. He's going to use the more traditional strat to find the routes. This is costing Asaz some time, not having those boots.
Alright, nice bomb jump. Now we get to see if it's Bob's chest here, which is 14?
This will be 14.
17. Nice mushroom. Alright, so for my fellow COCOM here to be correct, we need it to be in the first chest checked here by our Ice Armos. This is not going to be a long fight. Silvers makes this, yeah. Holy crap! That was insane!
There's 15. 16. It's Tile Room!
I'm sorry. I'm still struggling to get a handle on that Ice Armos fight. That was insane. Like, that was nearly task-worthy right there.
I don't expect... Yeah, he's not going to check Tile Room first.
No, at an hour and 27 minutes, you're not feeling behind enough that you need to check Tile Room before heading over here. Now, given you'll probably slap yourself in the forehead once you run through here and find nothing, but you still don't feel the need to check it first.
And I think this basically... I don't think Ninban's in the lead yet, but he's basically in the lead at this point. He's gonna overtake Asazas here very soon. We'll see 18. We'll see what we didn't see on Ninban's side is 18 to 21 on Asazas' side.
Okay, so 90 rupees and some bombs.
Asazas will get to Tile Room first.
Ninban having a little bit of difficulty here. Arrows going every which way. So if Ninban is thinking about the logic, then he could realize that if Asazas followed the logic, he's going to be the only person with those boots, which could make him feel really good about this being in tile room.
They are in tile room at the same time. Asazas got here slightly earlier. Asazas is also out of magic. That's where that half magic Ninban picked up is going to come in handy. There's the big key for Asazas. He's going to start his climb.
Alrighty, so that is location 22. Ugh. And there it is. For entry up the stairs, Ninban is approximately 8 to 9 seconds behind.
Yeah, and it's not going to be much before Ninban overtakes Asazas. Asazas needs some solid execution to keep this as close as possible.
Yeah, we also have Ganon and Aghanim, and sometimes those, we could just have a situation where 1 extra cycle or 2 extra cycles on Aga 2. That's a lot of time, so this is not over yet. We just need solid execution on Azaz's side in order to keep this lead going as long as possible. Stelfos room here being annoying for both of our runners.
Asazas is picking up a little magic that's going to cost him a little time. These ice rooms are where those boots are really going to help Ninban.
Alright, Azazas is down to 2.5 hearts, and we are just about tied here.
And I think Ninban essentially has the lead at this point. But Lamos,
especially with that early arrow.
Yeah. Oh, that hurts. Ninban has the lead now, and he's taking a lead. Still a lot to play out, though. But this fight really is hurting Asazas. He finally gets it down, but that cost him several seconds.
That 1.5 heart might be a problem here as well.
This floor is where those boots are going to give Ninban even more time. Just a reminder of what happened earlier. The reason Ninban has those boots is because he sequence broke some flipper checks and found them. Flippers ended up being Asazas' go mode, and he's stuck to the logic for the most parts.
Yeah, it's a situation where a logic break was really, really helpful for Ninban. Although I believe it was Asazas who died on the room before Laser Bridge, so that's something to keep in mind too.
That is true. He did take a death there. No problems with Moldorm 2 for Ninban.
Alright, so at this point it is Ninban's race to lose, but just keep in mind the boots are not going to save any time from the entry of this Aga 2 room until we're done. So, not saving any time in Aga 2 or Ganon.
We've got Aga 2 fight, starts with 1. There's a double. Asazas has Moldorm 2 down.
I'm not sure that counted as double. Those 2 hits were really close.
Was either hit or 4 or 5 then. Okay, you're right. That didn't count, but Ninban's got Aga 2 down.
Yeah, so that was 5 cycles, and that does not feel good for Ninban. Still has a bit of a lead here, but if we have a Ganon mishap, this is a brand new story.
Well, Salza starts with a double. I think that might have been a single as well.
Most likely. It looked very similar to Ninban's.
And there was another single as Ninban enters the Ganon fight. Looks like they're both going to have Aga 2 fights very similar. Ninban did not get a 1 cycle on Phase 1 Ganon.
Excellent location for Phase 2, though, so this is definitely going to be a 1 cycle. 1 more just for good measure there. Alright, something to keep in mind for this specifically, the teleports for the first Ganon fight are seeded, so Azaz is going to get the same number of teleports here, and that will carry on so long as neither of our runners fall. Nice spin off the Trident for Azazas.
Neither got the 1-1, but Ninban's in Phase 4, just needs a couple more silver arrows.
Same great location for Azazas there in the corner, so this is going to be an easy 1 cycle. 4 silvers in? Oh, 3 silvers in, sorry, miscount.
But there's the 4th.
Ninban? Oh, goodness gracious. I've seen that end badly. It made me really nervous.
He's fallen off due to that, trying that. But he does officially win with a time of 1:35.34. Takes the series 2-0. He's moving on to the quarterfinals.
Azazas does miss the torch glitch there with silvers. Yeah, not a big deal. Ganon's dead.
He just, as soon as Asazas finishes, will get his time. Official time 1:36.09. That is a 35-second difference. Couple that with a 24-second difference in their first race. In these 2 races today, their total difference was under a minute.
Yeah, those are some really close races. We are joined in the booth by Ninban. GG, my friend. What do you think about that one?
Thank you. It was a nice seed. I was a little worried when it ended out. I ended out like hondoing it, trying to find the hook shot. But yeah, it went well. I'm glad I found the boots by sequence breaking the flippers.
Yeah, that single find is probably what gave you the most amount of time out of the whole thing there, because Azazas followed the logic and did not find the boots, so it was just you were just steadily catching up through GT.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched the whole last 20 minutes on the stream. It was very good to watch.
Yeah, it was a really close race. So you guys now had 2 close races in a day. You're probably exhausted. I can't imagine what it's like to have 2 closes with two races within a minute there back to back like that. Whew. All right, and as I say that, we are joined by our other runner, Azazas. GG. That's a second close race for you. That was a good race, man.
Hey, hello, GG. GG, Ninban, congrats for moving on.
Thank you. And GG, those races were so close, man. I'm so happy we got to do this matchup.
Yeah, so kind of upset about this because it always feels bad to lose because of dumb execution mistakes. Because I mean, it always feels bad, more so than bad routing or things like that.
Yeah, I saw, but man, your eyes almost, it was a piece of heart. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious, that ice Armos was insane.
that's kind of a cool strat I've been learning it today.
Yeah, I think you want to go ahead and make that verb past tense because I'm pretty sure you've got it fully learned from what I saw today.
I'm not consistent at it, and it's easier with the boots because you can set up your starting position way easier with the boots, just bonking on the lower wall. But yeah, then the ice movement is kind of tricky.
Well, you pulled it off either way, and it's the first time I'd ever seen that, so I was slightly struck dumb by it.
But yeah, really hurt. What really hurt was mostly the death, of course, in TR, like very easily avoidable. And then the tower climb wasn't the best at all, but still was a close race.
Yeah, it was really well done. It does suck that you got a 1.0 there by that laser after you fell. I saw you fall, and I saw you have the 2 hearts, and I was like, okay, he's good, and then the laser hit you, and I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, and by the way, the boots were...
Hobo.
The boots were on a hobo.
Yeah, damn. I never liked sequence breaking flipper 6, but I mean, it's obvious that it pays out sometimes.
Yeah, I sequenced both them sometime after getting Dark World access. Like a few minutes after beating T-Stone, I went to Catfish, and then I mirror and still deleted my way there.
So we were wondering, Ninban, if you had been kind of tracking the logic as you were going. Because this is a pretty interesting scene to watch because you found those boots and then you bonked that first chest in Hookshot Cave and found the flippers. At that point, what were you thinking? Like, what's going through your head when you basically the item you got, which from a flipper check, led you to the flippers?
I did not even realize it. I just never thought about that.
Because yeah, we were sitting here wondering, would these runners keep it in mind? Because at that point we easily eliminated Ice Palace and Misery Mire as checks for the hook shot, or as having anything. But when you checked the pedestal, we were thinking, were you keeping track of that? There was
No, not at all.
Because there's maybe a little.
No,
concern.
I wasn't keeping track of that, but I would not have gone to Swamp or Ice until after I full cleared the overworld, which I did pretty much. They are the only things that are left on the overworld are Ice or Cave and Zora for me. So I would have done those first before diving in the dungeons, so in the end, it would not have mattered for my hook shot. But yes, you're making a good point. I forgot to track that, and I should have.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a lot easier to sit here while we're just watching you guys go and kind of speculate about what can and can't be in logic and where a certain item can be. It's a lot more difficult when you're running around trying not to get murdered by things. But yeah, that was 2 really close races. I actually got to watch both of them. It was a whole lot of fun, at least from a viewer's perspective. The seeds, neither of them seemed to be too terrible, so I can imagine they weren't awful to play. Asazas, I feel like this seed would have been more fun with the boots, just because it's always more fun to get the boots. But you guys both did really well. And yeah, you guys are done with your with your round of 16 matches already. So you guys really jumped on it.
Yeah, we did find some time to play today because it was kind of hard to balance our schedules during the week. But yeah, I really missed those boots in this seed. Because with the boots, I wouldn't have died in TR for sure, and the execution in Ganos Tower would have been so much better. So much better.
So Ninban, you'll be moving on. Your quarterfinal opponent still to be determined. It's either going to be Zelda-san, Illis, or Pika Pals.
Nice.
Any hopes as you move on into the quarterfinals?
Well, I don't. Well, my goal in this tournament is to reach the finals and win everything. But I'm kind of happy with the position I have now. On the last tournament that I went into brackets, in the fall I didn't go, but last spring or winter, I don't know. I went up all the way to top 32. So I was going to be glad if like it ended today with top 16. Now I'm top 8, so that's better. I'll be glad to exit at top 8 as well. I just want to try to reach out for the top, but I'm happy with my position in the tournament right now.
Yeah. Also, I think just kind of looking at your collection rates, it's pretty interesting. Asazas only had a 150 collection rate. Ninban was at 160. I think that also kind of just shows. It probably shows a little bit about the boots as well. Just how you could get some extra checks in there.
Yeah, mostly, probably. Like, I don't know how early Ninban got the boots, but yeah, seems logical.
I think he got them. You both did Thieves Town at the same time, then Ninban went north into Skull Woods and then east to Catfish around then. So it would have been about 35 minutes into the seat, I think.
That seems accurate. That's what I'm taking as well.
Yeah, that's about what I'm remembering. So it was pretty much an hour with the boots.
But I think you guys also need to go over to the French restream to do an interview.
Well, me, I don't think SSR speaks French.
No, not really.
But yeah, I'll be going.
Give it a shot.
Thanks a lot for commentating, guys. This was a very fun matchup. Like I said, with two asazas, really fun to have this seed with him and doing these close races. So see you all later.
Yeah, really fun again. Congrats for that top 8.
Yeah, GG's to Ninban. We look forward to seeing you race some more. Azazas, you were awesome to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next tournament we do. Did either of you guys have anything you wanted to share about the Cedar in general before we head out?
Well, yeah, hopefully I can make it to the next tournament. These are always really fun. And yeah, of course, upset about being eliminated at this point. But pretty happy with my performance in the tournament. I tied my best tournament result, and pretty much all the races I've lost were like 30-second losses or something like that. So yeah, no huge mishaps. And yeah, I would also like to give a shout out to the Spanish A Link to the Past community and Randomizer community. Hopefully we'll have some more representation in future tournaments.
Awesome. That's glad to hear. Yeah, the ALTTPR community in general is just an awesome community to be a part of. While we're in the topic of shout-outs, I would like to shout out Mr. Broadstone, who was our tracker for the day. Pressing the buttons. The tracker was a little bit temperamental, but he did the best he could with it and helped keep us straight for stuff. So shout-outs to him. That is not an easy job to do.
Yep. Also, make sure to give our runners a follow. Thanks to our tracker as well. Thanks to Hammer Bro, for joining me here.
Yep, it was fun as always. That's all I have. So may your seeds not be bad seeds.
I was actually going to just mention what we got coming up still.
Oh yeah, do we have any more races coming up?
Nothing today. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we've got 3 races on the schedule, not assigned channels yet. We have Game 4 between Crystal Owen and Yoshi. We also have Yagamoth and Aussie 101, and Sabatender and Act the Booker playing their races tomorrow as well. And then, of course, make sure to look at the Speed Gaming Networks as well. A lot of Super Mario World, No Cape, No Star World races today, as well as the Zelda 1 Randomizer Weekly Race and the Final Fantasy Randomizer Duckling Derby.
Cool. Looks like we got a bunch of stuff slated and some more rando for you tomorrow if you haven't gotten your fill for the week so far.
All right, why don't you take us out now?
Alrighty, cool. That is all I have. So for Brewers fan JP and myself, Hammer Bro, have a great night and may your seeds not be bad seeds.